Hey guys, I've had a couple of requests to do a shop tour, and since I'm in between projects, I figured now would be a good time. I have everything cleaned up. I'm going to start here. This is my entryway to the house. I've got I guess a Craftsman toolbox. It's kind of a mess. It is not organized at all, so that's probably going to be a winter project of mine. Maybe even get it out of here so I can reclaim some of that room. And this is my lumber rack. I'm using a vertical lumber rack because I don't want 9-foot boards going across the wall. That's taking away too much real estate for me. It can hold about 100 or 150 board feet vertically. And the way that I have it set up, it can hold boards up to 13 or 14 inches wide with this rubber strap holding it into place. I've got some 5/4 walnut that I need to make some room for in there. I'll probably do that here soon. I have the Porter cable, what is it, PCB 660DP drill press. It's got a 1.5 horsepower motor. It's got the light and it's got the laser on it. It's a really solid machine. I picked this up at Lowe's. I think it's $350 give or take, and it drills straight and it's got plenty of power. So I'm not sure what else you can ask for. All right, so moving on, I got a 60-gallon Craftsman air compressor. It's way too big for what I need, but I got it for a good deal, so I'm going to stick with it until I'll probably find something a little bit smaller and I can tuck it away under one of these workbenches. And next, I've got a Grizzly G0548ZP 2 horsepower polar bear dust collector, and I've got some notes on that here so I can explain it to you. It's a 2 horsepower, 240 volt, 9 amp. It's got a 1 micron canister on it, so it blocks a good amount of the dust that comes back out. It's one cool feature is it's got this arm on here to clean the canister out on the inside. I'm using some 6-inch metal ducting to all of my tools, pretty much down this one wall over here. And I'm using the remote system on it for remote start. It's a Long Ranger 3. I've got it connected down there, see if you can see that. I think you can, yeah, you can see it down there in the corner. That has been a lifesaver. Instead of running back and forth to the tool or to the dust collector every time, I can just use the remote. I've got the ducting set up with some 6-inch spiral ducting. I'm going to freehand the camera here, so if it's wobbly, I apologize. Here's the 6-inch hose going to 6-inch spiral ducting. And I've got 3 drops along this wall. The first one going to the router table. The second drop going to my table saw, and there's a Y on there coming up to the over the blade dust collection, and that one going to under. The last stop is this Y, which the top is capped and the bottom one is split off here. One going to my planer and joiner combo, and the other one to my drum sander. From the 6-inch main line, I have a reducer that goes down to a 4-inch hose to my tools. You can see this run along the wall here. This is my router table. It is a 24 by 36 router table. It's got a pinnacle table or pinnacle fence on it that's similar to the Incra system today. I don't know if this was a knockoff of that or what. It probably was. I'm not a fan of this fence. I never use the incremental positioning system that it's known for, and without having the fence that moves in and out to cover majority of the router bit, I'm just not a fan of it. I'll probably end up swapping this out in 2016 for something else. And I've got just an enclosure with a Bosch 2.25 horsepower router in it. I don't have a router lift, so when I need it, I go under it and raise it, or I use this little Allen wrench up top. I built an enclosure around the router and put a hole in the back for some dust collection. It's not the best. I should have put it underneath, but it's better than dust flying everywhere. Next up is my table saw. It is a Craftsman 22124, I guess they call it the zip code saw. It's 110 volt, 1 3/4 horsepower. It has the Biesmeyer fence system on it. I've had this for about 3 years, and other than it being underpowered, it's been an accurate hybrid style, I guess, table saw, and I'm happy with it. I'm using the PSI woodworking over the blade dust collection. It's okay. It doesn't do a great job of sucking all the dust out of there, but I think that a majority of that problem is the dust collection inside of the cabinet here is not great either. This is my workbench. It's based off of a Glen Huey workbench. It's made completely out of poplar. It's 28 inches wide and 64 inches long. I made it a little bit wider because it also serves as my outfeed table. The dog holes are the only thing that I will end up changing. I didn't drill all the way through. They're stopped. So I'm using these little Veritas dogs that have the spring on the end. I mean, they're okay other than the fact that a lot of dust collects in the bottom of these, and it's just a pain in the ass to clean out. The front vise I'm using is just a Woodcraft vise. It's not a quick release. The side panels and the back panels they're painted blue, and it has 4 drawers on it. Let me show you the drawers a little bit closer. Currently, I keep all of my hand tools in the drawers. I'm going to be building a tool cabinet to mount on the wall behind it in 2016. Okay, so let's see, that's the front side of the garage. And then moving on back, this is my clamp rack. I have the Bessie and the Jet parallel clamps, along with some quick clamps from Irwin. And my personal preference is I like the Bessies better than the Jets, but probably because the ones that I got on the Black Friday deal, they stick a lot. I haven't had a chance to play with the ones that I got this year from the Black Friday deal, but hopefully they're better than the last ones. This is my Jet 12-inch joiner planer combo. It's not the helical head version, it's just the straight knives. And so far I really like having the extra width for the jointing and planing. It's got plenty of power. It's 220 volt. One thing that I can't seem to switch on is the European style guard. My last joiner was a 6-inch grizzly joiner. It had the pork chop on it, and personally I found that to be a little bit easier to use than the European guard. I find that probably with enough practice I just can't get a consistent joint on the boards. The switch over time on this is really quick, so I like being able to take up 2 tools in one spot. It's a great machine. And then back here is my Performax 1632 drum sander. It's a nice machine. I've had some issues with sandpaper burning, no matter how slow or how little I take off. That's just something, it's probably some table alignment issues that I got to figure out. I don't use it often, but I found it on Craigslist for a really good deal, so I picked it up. And during the Harbor Freight 25% off, I picked up this disc sander from them for like 112 bucks, and they broke it during the shipping, so I've got to go catch one in stock and return that one. Now we're on the other side of the garage, and this is where I keep my miter saw. This is the Hitachi C12RSH. It's the 12-inch sliding compound miter. It's been a workhorse. I haven't had any issues with it. It does a good job. I got this when I first started woodworking to be able to cross-cut wide boards because the table saw that I had was a little skill table saw and it was extremely unreliable. And this has been a great miter saw. Next up is my Wood River Mortiser. I'm extremely disappointed in this machine. The build quality is terrible. I never use it, and I'm probably going to end up selling it and just switching to using a plunge router for all my mortises. A lot of the teeth and gears on the inside have broken off. The quality of the plastic on these little doors right here have broken off. And this is my central machinery oscillating spindle sander. This thing has been a great purchase. It's extremely reliable. It gets the job done, and the dust collection on the back is really, really well designed. I know there's probably 5 or 6 other brands that share this same design. So this was the cheapest, and it's been a really reliable machine. I have the Porter Cable PCB 330BS bandsaw. It's the 1 3/4 horsepower, 120 volt bandsaw. I got this also at Lowe's, and it's been a pretty good bandsaw. I added the jet 6-inch riser to it. It did require some modifications, but I can now resaw 12-inch wide boards, and it cuts straight and true. It's been a reliable bandsaw as well. I installed the Craig fence on it since it doesn't come with a fence. So I mean, it was a pretty straightforward install, and it works well. This is my Jet 1221 VS. It's the variable speed lathe. I've got the extension wing for it that I purchased for turning some longer legs, and I got it setting on a couple of cabinets that I purchased from Lowe's and painted white. I built the cherry top for it, and I have the Rikon 8-inch bench grinder that I use to sharpen my gouges and chisels. I'm going to do a quick pan. I'm standing in the doorway, the entryway to the house. And there's one thing I'm sure you've noticed just now, is that the open area right here. And unfortunately, I parked my vehicle in the garage. Yep, pretty shameful. And now I'm standing where my dust collector is. And I think I'll end this tour with the place that you probably see me at the most. Well, at least my hands, here at the workbench. Well, appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, ask away. Thank you.